Today's December 3rd, Sunday, December 3rd. I'm going to take a look at a few coins, but I'm going to start off with taking a look at the Wyckoff chart. The markets have been very volatile, more volatile for crypto than I remember, and that's really saying something. And we were walking on the razor's edge. There's predictions, ranging up to $100,000 for Bitcoin or a 50% correction. And it's really, right now, of almost a coin flip as to what's going to happen. There's a lot of different theories, but it's very difficult to discern what's actually going to happen. So I'm going to cover some different scenarios, and I could see either one of them working. We could continue higher and go places we didn't think imaginable, or we could correct right here. But taking a look at the charts and just staying in the charts, starting off with Wyckoff. This is a traditional Wyckoff model, one of the Wyckoff models, and I've overlaid the Bitcoin price on a couple different points. So we went up to 11,500. I'm labeling that as a buying climax. We had an automatic rally off of 9,100. So that rally came back up, came back down to a sign of weakness at 8,900. And now we're currently in the upthrust at testing 12,000. So if we can break 12,000 convincingly, I'd say get over 12.5 or closer to 13,000. If we can really put some distance between us and this buying climax of 11,500, that's probably going to be a minimum of 13,000 realistically. Then it may invalidate this model. But if we come up to 12,000 and don't break 13,000, then I would say this may add some validity to this if we retrace here. And if that's so, you see how the rest of the model plays out. Now, it's not written in stone, but going by the best available theories, this is one potential outcome according to Wyckoff. So I think the next few hours, the next 24 hours are going to be pretty important. We'll have to see how this 12,000 level plays out. Okay, so that's one look at Bitcoin. This is another look that I put together, and based on this model, what I noticed was the week of Thanksgiving in the United States, I had more people talk to me about Bitcoin and crypto than ever before. And this is, just people like friends I had mentioned Bitcoin to that weren't interested all of a sudden were calling me. People at the coffee shop, I'd hear them talking about Bitcoin. I even did a little news segment on the local news because they needed somebody and I was available. So this was in a unique week. I'd never seen any activity like that. Coinbase also stated that week they had more new user signups than ever before. So based on that, just kind of theorizing that this was a week of accumulation or a week of new accounts. The new accounts got created and then the money came in. This was all this wave from, 8,000, which we had been stuck at for a while. That new money pushed us up to 11,500. And then we came back down. This was also part of a bigger Elliott wave, but this was the final push to top that off. And we had an ABC correction. And now we're dealing with, are we going to break out into a new trend? Is this a new wave one? Or is this part of the Wyckoff model that I looked at? You see, this actually matches pretty well. We have this, and then we have an A, B, C correction. Wyckoff has buying climax, A, B, C correction. Up thrust to 12,000. And that's where we're at right now testing it. So again, if we can break out here, hit that 13,000, I think it lends some validity that this is all new, a new wave up. Okay, we had our rest and now we're pushing higher. The bear case, if we don't break this 12,000 convincingly, is a retrace, and I think the retrace is going to go back down to at least the Thanksgiving levels. We'll probably retrace all of that money back down to Thanksgiving. And then if we really got aggressive, if it really broke sentiment, if there are really some things that happen in the market, we could come all the way back down to the 1.6 level, so the 5,300. So on the one hand, you've got to break out to 20,000 or more, or we've got to retrace to 5,000. That's really the two scenarios that are predominant. This is another chart of Bitcoin. And I'm going to show this to show a couple other things. In one of my more recent videos, when Bitcoin broke 9,000, I predicted the top pretty accurately at mid 11,000. And I did that based on this trend-based extension. I went back to when this trend started, created a Fibonacci on 3 points, and based on where we were in the second, third, fourth wave, I said, this is probably where we'll top out. And we did. It was pretty accurate, so I'm happy with that call. Then now, potentially, we could be in our A, B, C wave, and we'll have to see if this is wave one of a new trend. If it is, again, being bullish, let's say that the bottom of 4 to top of 5 is a new Fibonacci. Again, this is going to line up with the numbers we just mentioned, but 15,000, 21,000, 27,000. So those are your 3 potential targets. Take some money, play the bounce at 15,000, take some money, play the bounce at 21,000. And then at 27,000, maybe take a little bit more off the table and see what happens. See if we keep pushing. But I would say that would be a pretty optimistic top if we continue our current pattern. And then beyond that, we have to see if the chart resets and keeps going, or if that's an actual top and a bigger retrace is ahead. Okay, so that's enough about Bitcoin. Let's take a look at Bitcoin Cash. So Bitcoin Cash also completed a Elliott wave. It completed an ABC correction. It's now pushing back up. A couple of bull flags. Bull flag right now seems to be resolving upwards. This is bullish for Bitcoin Cash. It's going to move somewhat in tandem with Bitcoin. Pretty much all the coins are moving along with Bitcoin, right? To one degree or another. The correlation varies, but Bitcoin moves up and Bitcoin Cash moves up. So the bullish case for Bitcoin Cash is everything moves up. It goes to 1,700 or longer term target 2,100. The bearish case is that the market falters, the new money is scared, and we retrace probably back down to 1,200, which this is I think the Thanksgiving week roughly. So that's how that could potentially play out. Now, the dynamics between Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin and hash power, I think that's still in play to a certain degree, but I think it's going to be more of a longer term adoption rate. It's going to be one on fees. It's going to be one on merchant adoption. It may not necessarily be a very quick, violent, short-term Bitcoin Cash destroys Bitcoin. But it could be a long-term merchant adoption thing. There's some things coming out for Bitcoin Cash. I believe Bitstamp is adding it this week. Coinbase is supposedly adding Bitcoin Cash in January. That's always been very bullish for coins. So whatever the short-term dynamics of the next few weeks, I think there's a lot of reasons to have Bitcoin Cash in your portfolio or even add more of it at these levels. Even if it's had this nice little run, if you take a look at it being added to more exchanges, that's only more people exposed to it. That's more bullish. Okay, so that's Bitcoin Cash. Let's take a look at Litecoin. So Litecoin hit the important psychological level of $100. It broke its other recent local top here back in September. It created a new Fibonacci trend. And I would say that it even did a retrace along with Bitcoin to 786. So if Litecoin can break maybe 110, it's clear all the way up to 140. I think Litecoin is also going to benefit from its close association with Bitcoin. Unlike some of the other alts, if Bitcoin falters, it has different impacts on different coins. But I think Litecoin is uniquely positioned that if Bitcoin goes up, Litecoin goes up. If Bitcoin goes down, Litecoin could potentially go up. Now, it's followed Bitcoin so far, but I think that it may be a safe haven for Bitcoin people who really want SegWit, who want something as close to Bitcoin as possible. That's just a theory. We'll have to see how that goes. But right now, again, Litecoin, if Bitcoin can break 12,000, I would say Litecoin will break 110. That'll make it clear at 140. Okay, let's take a look at Ethereum to close this out. We'll take a look at EOS too. Ethereum, I think everybody called that the breakout would be around 360. I don't know very many people that didn't see that coming. I didn't buy it. I just don't buy Ethereum generally. But it did break out, came right up to the 1618, and it retraced. So for Ethereum, if you're not in it, I wouldn't jump in it just yet. If it does break 540, I'd say it's probably clear to 680. Just based on the Fibonacci's. That's all I really want to say about Ethereum. Let's take a look at EOS. So I have quite a bit of info on EOS here. I'll try to clear this chart up a little bit. Okay. So EOS did a nice Elliott wave pattern. It's in the profit zone. All these white numbers are my targets, and there's a big cluster of the Fibonacci white numbers. So these are all my targets, right? And they're all clustered inside this box. So this is, it's in a take profit zone. I think it just created an ABC correction. This may be its wave 1 correction, forming wave 2. EOS is an interesting coin. It's got a lot of promise, but its timeline is so far out there as to when it's going to be available. But I think at $4, given its potential, and if you can hold a coin for a few months, that seems to be very proven to be profitable. So I think EOS at $4 is pretty interesting. It was very interesting at 50 cents. Unfortunately, I didn't buy it there. I had already created an EOS position much higher. So I wrote it down, and now I'm writing it back up. But I think the fact that it's showing some strength here is a hint of what's possible in the future. So, the charts right now, it's in a profit zone. So if you've got some EOS and you've been wondering, it's probably a decent idea to take some profit. But I think long term, if you hold this for a few months, I think $4 is going to look cheap. So that's what I think about EOS. So that's it for today. Leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, hit me up on Twitter. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a great day.